with the BS from UC Davis and MBA at USC. Her journey is proof that when you combine vision, grit, storytelling, that you don't just market, you move people. So y'all seen her in the boardroom.
Boom.
Y'all seen that female quotient.
Well,
You want to see her at Black Week
that's for sure.
2025 on the stage, tearing it down. And now she's here at your favorite podcast for the very first time. Let's introduce our sister, Miss Jacqueline Woods, y'all. Yeah. Sis, your
Wow.
resume is crazy.
Wow.
Thank you.
Nielsen,
Wow.
IBM, GE.
Wow.
Talk about it. First, before we get into it, first of all, thank you, sis. Once again, I'm going to reiterate it again. We love you.
Thank you.
We know what it takes to get there. What you have to sacrifice, what you have to do. We're going to go into the story, but we know what you have to endure to get there. And as Sister arrives right back, I just want to, say we love you. We thank you. Thank you for paving the way. And for those listening, first time, what we like to do, we want to tell the whole story. So, sis, we love if you just tell us some influences growing up. Tell us some early stories. What was the family like? Because we want to know the mindset to how you get there.
Well, I always think it's interesting when I tell people that I'm a PK. So my father was a Methodist minister, AME Zion. My mother was a teacher and then a principal. So she's a retired principal. My father passed away in 2008. So for me, it was like I felt like I always had to be on my P's and Q's because I couldn't get away with much with both Geneva and John. That's just how that worked. But they, I think, paved a path. And I just think that I didn't have brothers and sisters. So really it was my church family and the people in the community that I think gave me the greatest insight. And I just was admiring others and kind of, in my own head, wanted to emulate the success that I saw growing up.
But what did success look like growing up? How did you define that growing up early at a young age?
Well, I think it was a couple things. I mean, education was really, really big in my family, as you can imagine. Like if you have a mother that's a teacher, there's like no kind of like getting away with not doing your homework. But a couple of things I think were transformative for me. So for example, I knew that as a kind of a young Black kid that was growing up in an environment that wasn't actually majority Black. In the elementary school that I went to I think I was one of 3 or 4 Black kids in this elementary school. And because my church was predominantly Black, you kind of have these two separate worlds that you're kind of navigating.
Yeah.
And what was interesting to me is I had gone to school with these kids that I was, quote, in the smart group. And when I was in 5th grade, one of my teachers had given a set of kids. We all were like in the same group. You know how it is. You have the 7 people who they've identified as the people who are like, doing the things. And this man gave me straight A's at grade level. And then he gave all of the white kids that were in my same little group straight A's above grade level. Now, that was the first time that I was like, wait a minute, something's wrong. Why am I being treated differently? Like, how can we be taking all the same tests, getting the same scores, and then all of a sudden I'm not rated the same way? And yeah, I was only 10 years old when that happened. And it was, when you're 10, how do you, quote, have a wake-up call when you're 10? You just know that at some point you're being treated differently. That was at the same time that, I wasn't around people who said negative things about us as a people. And in this kind of same time frame, one of the kids had like literally spit on me and called me the N-word. And so
at 10?
No. At 10. I remember that like it was yesterday, honestly. I remember it like it just happened to me. I will not repeat the kid's name. I still know his name. And so I'm now in this place where you're a little kid and you're thinking everyone's kind of the same and quote, we're all doing the same thing. And it was the first time that I really knew that I needed to learn how to advocate for myself. And if I didn't do it, like, who was going to do it? So, like, my mom was an educator. So I went to my mother and told her what happened. And John and Geneva went up to the school. And the one thing that I would tell anyone is, particularly in any system, they talk about it in healthcare. Oh, you got to go advocate for yourself because you may not be treated the same. If you don't advocate for your children when they are young, when they don't have the voice to advocate for themselves, they will certainly may fall, kind of in a place where they don't get equitable treatment. And that was a lesson to me. And of course, you know, after that, the next time that the grades came out, grades do you think I got? I got straight A's above grade level. And I say that because I should have got it the first time. Nothing changed. I was still getting the same scores, but it was someone who had decided how they saw me as compared to what my record was saying predicated on my test.
Mm,
And so
Yeah,
for me,
wait. We can't go past that though, Jacqueline. Not we cannot go
that's
past.
right.
We
Mm-mm.
we
Yeah.
know we know it's your story, so you kind of just reliving it, but that is monumental in shaping your psyche. That
it
is
is.
monumental in shaping your psyche, right? So let's just kind of unpack that a little bit, right? But you're older now, but I could imagine how frustrated you was because being raised as a preacher's kid, right? A certain you instilled with a certain way to carry yourself as a young woman, a young lady within the church, under God and things of that nature, and being raised under an educator again, right? Your mother knowing the system and knowing more things than you do, how they treat black and brown children versus children that are not. I could imagine that puts you in a very, very particular place where I can imagine you just wanted to. What was your initial reaction to that, though? I know you wanted to go home and tell mom and dad, but I know you wanted to react in the moment also.
Honestly, I had to grow a thicker skin because at that time I didn't have a thick skin. Like, I'm literally 10 years old. So I don't have a thick skin because I'm going around playing with my friends, doing what kids at that age do, got a Barbie doll, whatever, got a Chrissy, got all the things. And so I'm not even thinking that way until I saw what was being treated differently. So I don't think I was thinking about it.